For those who fought in the Battle of Britain, it was a battle for survival. For the free world, it was a breathless moment in history. For failure would have plunged mankind into a new dark age. Never have so many owed so much to so few.
So hello everybody, welcome to issue 30 of Build a Spitfire Mk1a. This is fitting the right landing gear. So this is going to go pretty much exactly the same as issue 28, I'm afraid, but we're going to be working on the opposite side, so it might be a mirror image and it's going to be a different colour, so at least the colour will spruce it up. So this is stage part 1. This is the wheel guard, and again, look at that amazing detail, absolutely beautiful. Really happy with that. Not happy with the colour, but I'm happy with the part. So this is part number 2. This is the landing gear fixture, and this is going to hold all the landing gear in place. Part number 3, and I'm going to need my tweezers for this, and this is the landing gear indicator, and that's really interesting the way that works. It's really good fun actually. So stage 4, sorry, part number 4 is the landing gear fixture, and this is a metal, or should be a metal. I think that is a metal piece. So okay, piece number 5, I keep calling it step. This is a landing gear fixture as well, and they do keep calling multiple parts the same thing, but obviously this particular part may not exist like that on the real Spitfire, so obviously when it's a scale model they have to do things a little bit differently. So part 6, which I'm not going to get out of the bag just yet. I don't like small parts, so I hide them up as long as I can. So it's that spring, and piece 7 is a landing gear indicator pin. So again, I know we'll be using those fairly early on, but I will leave those in the bag right up to the very last millisecond. So lastly, we have got 5 2x4mm PB screws, of which one is spare. So what we will be doing is we will lay those out on my little magnetic mat, and they'll be there for us when we need them. So the first step we need to be doing is we need to take part number 4, which is the landing gear fixture, and part number 5, which unfortunately is called the landing gear fixture. So with the screw hole, you see there's a screw hole there, with that pointing away from us, and we've got some forks at the front, and I'm going to call it a little flag. It's a little, I don't know what it is, but that's pointing upwards. We're going to place that in there like so, and then what we need to do in step 2 is we need to insert the little pin from this side. Now what I found was quite successful last time, because we're going to be putting the pin in smooth side first. Right, I want to just put that spring very safe. I do not want to lose it. So this pin has a patterned side and a smooth side. The smooth side is going to go in nice and smooth, and the patterned side is going to lock itself into place. But I found last time we can actually pop this in just enough to hold it in, so that it's not going to pop out and go anywhere. So remembering that the screw hole side is going to go away from us, forks at the front, flag up, that's going to go in like that, and we need to hold this in place where we can see through it, because we need that pin to go smoothly all the way through, and with some kind of pliers, and I recommended flat-nosed pliers, which have now gone. How unfortunate is that, because I left them on the desk. And remember guys, if it's hard to push this through, it's because it's not lined up. Now that went straight in, so we'll just finish that off. It's not actually quite lined up with the opposite side. So can you see that okay? I hope you can. There we go. So the pin has gone in, it's locked itself in, and that's left us with this rocking, which I now hope I have done the correct way round. So we just pop that down for a moment, and what we need to be doing now is taking piece 2, the landing gear fixture, and we want the middle screw hole upwards and then these two downwards, and that will position everything in the orientation that the magazine has. We're going to take piece number 6, the spring. There's a little hole in the middle that's just going to pop straight into there like so, and then I would recommend with tweezers we take the landing gear flag, and you see there's a hole there. We're just going to drop that into that hole like so, and that's all that is for step 3. So step 4, and I would recommend from past experience that we now want to get our screw ready on our screwdriver, because I'm going to be holding things in place so my hands aren't going to be quite so accessible. So what we need to be doing now is the fork end of this previous piece. Come on, focus. Right. So this fork end, that wants to hook onto the top of that flag, and at the same time this screw hole wants to be sitting into that area there. So I'm actually going to move this around to make it easier for myself. So we'll hook that in, and but you see there I've got it lined up, but it's just missed the spring, so we'll just lift that up, and there we go. So I want to hold that down in place, so that's why I've got my screw ready, and that goes in there like so. And double check it, because I've got to be honest with you, this doesn't look right to me. However, it's absolutely perfect. So as we push this, it should, oh, that's interesting. So I found if you push this a bit too much, it gets stuck. So is that an issue? Is that a problem with my part? So what I'll do is I will carry on working with it, because obviously the first question I've got is it actually going to be going all the way down there? It might well be it's only going that far, so we don't even know if that's applicable. So we'll carry on and we'll see how we get on. So the next step then is just like last week, being very careful. We need to take the wing from issue 28, and we need to take the wheel, and this time around it's going to go this way, and I'm looking at the magazine, and I'm looking at the actual piece from last week, and yeah, so I'm making sure that they oops, so it looks like I will be needing to glue this wheel in this week. Right, so we know it's going to go Dunlop side out, so we're going to just pop the wheel through the big recess there, because it won't fit anywhere else. So, and then we'll just bring that in through like that, and what I want to do is I want to bring fold the wheel inwards as much as it will go, which isn't very far, and you see there I'm just lining that spring up. Very hard to see because it's so thin, and then I'm going to pull this down into the recess, and then I'm going to push down on this. Now I'm going to resist the temptation this week to move this wheel around, but what we need to do, and of course it's always going to be turn the page at a critical moment, So we must make sure that that spring is there. It must be touching against that piece of plastic. So the next thing we need to be doing is identifying the 3 fixing points, which is there, there, there and there. So we need to be bringing this piece in, and we need to hold that over there so it's still holding the wheel in place. So a quick test, we can see that that's working fine. That flag should be going down when we move the wheels. And what I want to do now is I want to fix this wheel in, this wheel bracket, and I do not want to let go until, you know, this part doesn't want to go in. So normally when parts don't want to go in, it's because I've not lined them up properly. But I think I've just done a little unscrew and a screw up, and it's gone in fine. So I guess I just didn't quite have it lined up properly. So screw the second screw in. I'm still holding this down really tight because I don't want anything to, like the small parts in there all lined up quite precisely. I don't want them to jiggle out. Okay, and the last screw going in, and I can feel this whole mount pulling in as I pull the screws in. So there we go, that's the last one in. So that's the second wheel, and I can see, oh, you see it's a little bit stuck. But on the whole, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So I don't know if you can hear that click. So I'm going to be honest with you guys and say I have absolutely no idea how to fix that. So if anybody has any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. So apart from that, these wheels are solid. So we just need to finish this build off now with 3001, which is the wheel guard. And again, it does say to glue it in. I'm just going to see how we get on with the push fit. This will actually need gluing in on mine, as will that. But I don't want to glue them in yet because I want to have a chat with my friend about painting this and just making it look a bit more realistic. I'm a little bit reluctant to paint this because, as you can see, we've got some decals there. But other than that, so it's a little bit awkward trying to show you the finished part when I'm intending to do more things with it. But like I say, I really can't glue this in just yet because I'm looking at upgrades. But that's basically what we're going to look like. So there we go, guys. Now I just want to offer you one more tip before I go. In the last 4 weeks, because I get this as part of a subscription, so I actually film all 4 of these in one go. So you know that I did stage 27 about half an hour ago, or an hour ago. But because I'm a subscriber, it means I'm not getting anything now for the next 4 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these parts that I should have glued in but I haven't, and I'm a little bit worried about storing this for the next 4 weeks. Now last time I stored it in these bubble bags, and this because that's what it came in, but now we've got these. So I'm going to just take a little bit of masking tape, and what I want to do, I want to just tape these wheels shut like so, just like that. Because I mean, obviously if you're buying this in the newsagents, if you're watching this at the same time you've got your issue, then you're getting your next one next week. If you're watching this in 2024 and you've just picked up a big bundle of build the Spitfire on eBay for £400 or something, then you're doing the next issue in 5 minutes. You guys may not necessarily need to do this, but I don't want this to be damaged in the next 4 weeks. So I'm just putting the paper over, and then I'm just going to pop this over. Actually, that goes on last because the paper goes over the bubble wrap. In fact, it didn't go over the bubble wrap. I actually put it on and taped it over. So there we go. So yeah, make use of the packaging material that they gave us. They obviously, someone thought that they wanted it to arrive in good condition, and we have this bubble wrap, so carry on using it. So there you go, guys. So it looks very sad and sorry now in its paper, but for me, I'm not going to see this again for another 4 weeks. But don't worry, guys, there will be another episode coming out next week. So take care, guys. Look after yourselves.